G'day folks, it's Laura here, and today I'm going to do a flip cup pour, this time with predominantly yellow, goldy, brown kind of colours. So I have iridescent gold from Pebeo, a premium metallic lustrous gold from Jo Sonja, Turner's yellow, yellow oxide, gold oxide, brown earth and titanium white, and all of these are from Jo Sonja. Now I'm just going to use a little bit less of the brown earth because it's a lot darker than the other colours. Okay, so I've recently been doing a lot of trials with different types of pouring media, and today I am back to my standard pouring medium just to get a feel for how it's different to those that I've been trialing. So I'm essentially using a very similar color palette to the last one that I did with the Liquitex pouring medium, and my standard pouring medium is very similar in how fluid it is. It's possibly slightly less fluid than that Liquitex pouring medium, but it is more opaque white. So we're just going to compare and see how they are. Just start with a tiny amount of pouring medium with this Pebeo paint first, mix it up well, then add more pouring medium down the track. So just going to add more pouring medium to the Pebeo paint. So this will end up being the thickest paint of this entire series because I'm not going to add any water to it. And the Pebeo paint itself is a lot thicker than the other paints. And this pouring medium is far more opaque than the Liquitex pouring medium. You just don't get that beautiful shimmer that we got with the Liquitex pouring medium. But again, if the Liquitex pouring medium doesn't provide enough, I guess it's too liquid, doesn't provide enough body for the paints to stay on the canvas during the drying process, then it's not really going to be a pouring medium I can use, unfortunately. I wish there was a pouring medium that was relatively thick that wasn't opaque. And once again, I did try a gloss varnish, or at least a version of my standard pouring medium that has a lot more gloss varnish in it, because the gloss varnish is translucent, but the dried effects were pockmarked and it wasn't a good effect in the end. So increasing the amount of gloss varnish is not really a solution. One other thing that's just a little bit interesting to note is why I've got paint all over my fingers. This doesn't usually happen with my standard pouring medium. It's happening today because of that Liquitex pouring medium, because it's incredibly sticky. Much more sticky than the other pouring mediums, the Atelier pouring medium as well as my standard pouring medium. I don't know what they put in the Liquitex pouring medium, but it's very much like their gloss varnish, I think, which is incredibly sticky and you can't get it off your hands. It sticks everything together. It's a little bit like glue, I guess, a quick drying glue. Which is, I guess, just another reason why perhaps I'm not super fond of the Liquitex pouring medium. So it's time to layer the cup now. And for this, I'm going to use my standard cell activator. I'll link to a video on how to make this if you're interested. But to start with, I'm just going to use a generous amount of the cell activator on the sides and the bottom of the cup. Oh, I'm getting a bit messy. So I've already prepared my canvas. This is the back of my canvas. I've added painter's tape as well as giant push pins. Okay, so it's time to flip the cup now, and unfortunately I made a little bit of a mess as I was trying to set up, so we do have a bit of a spill happening, but that's okay because it's all going in the same place anyway. So just going to flip the cup now. It is quite fluid, so yes, it's going everywhere, but we do have some beautiful lacing developing there. Just get the rest out of the cup. Spread it around the edges and the corners. I'm absolutely loving these colours, and I think we've got some lovely patterns happening and some lovely kind of layers as well. And this is once again reinforcing for me why I use my standard pouring medium rather than the proprietary pouring mediums. This is just much closer to what I'm interested in terms of a result than provided by those other pouring mediums, the proprietary ones. But it's always worth testing these things every now and again and to have an idea of what's available. Don't want to lose that. That's quite interesting. I'm just going to pop the bubbles with my heat gun. Okay, I had an immense number of bubbles in this pour for some reason. Not entirely sure why. But nevertheless, we work with what we have. So I might just spin this now. My goodness, so many bubbles. Where on earth did all of these bubbles come from? I might just spin it a little bit more. Get that last corner off. Bring it back. Hopefully not lose too much of it. Okie dokie. This one's not quite how I was hoping it would be. It ended up just with a lot of bubbles. Probably because I shook my pouring medium too close to the actual pour itself. But it's a sight better than the last one that I did that was with the Atelier pouring medium, so I don't think I can complain. And I think those bubbles actually create some nice patterning actually. And I think this one will be a fairly nice background for a wildlife painting. It could be that this edition of my standard pouring medium is getting a little bit thin because sometimes in the bottle some bits dry, and when that happens you end up with a separation of the layers, the different components of the pouring medium. anyway, on the whole, I'm pretty happy with that one. So thanks everyone for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments.